Retro.
What is up, Internet? Retro here, and a little bit different of a type of video today. So I recently just got back from Siege, Southeast Game Exchange. It was a retro video game convention in Greenville, South Carolina. My very first time to Greenville and this retro video game convention, and I had a blast. I have a couple different videos that I am pumping out from this whole experience. But I was super surprised by something. So I put up on my all my social medias that I was going to this convention. I was going to go as a guest to speak at a panel, and I was surprised by how many people were commenting and messaging the same thing. They were all saying, what is a retro video game convention? Like, what do you do? What do you see? Who do you see? Like, what is it all about? And I realized, man, a lot of people have not been to a retro video game convention. I know for me, we don't even have one in the state of Arkansas, so I thought, why don't we just do a full walkthrough of the convention? No crazy edits to make it look really cool, just a real-life experience of all the different things that you're going to see, the vendors, the activities, because it is a blast, but I want you guys to see a first-person perspective of the whole event. And I'm telling you, this was one of the best events I've ever been to. I've been to multiple conventions, and I love this one. I will be going every year, so shout out to Austin and the entire team that put on an amazing event. So we're about to get into it, but before we do, if you do love all things 80s and 90s nostalgia, everything from retro video games, movies, toys, and more, do me a favor and hit that friggin' subscribe button. Every single Monday and Thursday, we're coming out with new retro nostalgic content, and I don't want you guys to miss it. So let's check out this convention. So we walk into the lobby of the Greenville Convention Center. Properly named, pretty big place, guys. Here is the front table. This is where you get checked in. I think it's $10 for a day or $15 for the entire weekend, which is actually a really good deal, providing all of the stuff you get to see and you get to do. You get to play games and stuff as well, so you'll get to see that here in just a minute. But it is pretty large. I think it said 280,000 square feet is the size of this building, and there's over 100 vendors at the convention. So right here is some Southeast Game Exchange merch. Most every convention has merch. So here is the logo for the year, and pretty cool to pick up one of those. And I think they had bags as well. Just good to see people, man. Just good to see people out and about. So here is our very first booth. You can see a bunch of different stuff. You got some of those 3D prints. I think they're called diorama, something. Here's a bunch of Game Gear games. So you're going to see a lot of games here that you wouldn't normally see at even game stores now. I mean, these are up there on the top. Those are some sealed, looks like sealed games. I don't know what that was. Looks like some kind of compilation new game or something. That is Do You Nerd? So one thing you're going to see is you're going to see a ton of YouTubers at these events, which is always fun to hang out and chat and get to meet different people. Here are some boxed GBA games. There's a Hey Arnold right there in the bottom left. Totally wish I would have seen that as I was filming, but I wasn't really worried about picking up stuff as I was going through everything. Also, side note, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, I'm going to have a full out Southeast Game Exchange video of all my pickups and interactions with people. It's going to be a lot of fun, but again, this is just a walkthrough. That Neo Geo box is beautiful. Never even seen one of those before. You'll probably hear me say that a couple times. You're gonna see stuff that you just don't see. There's JLove81, more YouTubers, guys. So fun to be with a bunch of like-minded people. These are, looks like prints of Genesis game artwork. So X-Men, I've always loved that. And yeah, they sold a couple of these. I think he said that they make them, I guess. I don't know, pretty cool.
Right. Nothing like having a one-shot deal. one try. It's nerve-wracking.
If you don't know who he is the voice of Bowser. So he is kind of on this tour where he is going to all these different conventions. A lot of these people do that, you know. Somebody like Kenny James or like the Blue Ranger, you know, people like that. They all hang out at these conventions, and it's really cool to meet them, get an autograph, ask them some questions about their experiences. So here is the smart way to buy and sell. I think that's what that says. I don't even know what this booth is. I can't even read the entire sign because I wasn't really paying attention, but I think it's called Reboot. I don't know. But here is a booth, y'all. Look at all of these games. You don't see this. You don't see this every day at even your local game stores. All these Saturns, and pretty well priced too. Here's one big thing about conventions. Here's your convention tip for the video. You don't want to buy a lot of stuff right out the gate. Like, I think this is hour 1 or 2 of when the convention opened. So nobody is going to come off their prices very much at all right off the bat. You know, they just got there. But the time to get stuff is the last day, about 2 or 3 hours before the convention closes down because everybody wants to get rid of stuff. I'm telling you, that is the time to get some deals. I actually got a lot of good deals about, you know, a couple hours before the convention shut down. Here is some more prints, or maybe those are like store displays. I think they were priced pretty high, so I'm guessing that they are store displays. This is just some jewelry, so you'll see this as well. Jewelry, and then some like little knickknacks and things. I don't know, I think they're props. Yes, prop potions, $5 each. You know, you're gonna see all kinds of different things at a convention like this. So this is really cool. This guy made this game. I actually think I have some audio of him talking a little bit about this game that they created, and they're out here trying to bring some exposure to their new game. And what better place to do that than a game convention?
Is this a game that y'all...
Yeah, it's a game we made. It's on early access Steam. We came out last month with it. And to do some player feedback, we're actually running a competition. So it's an arcade game. We're going to give actual real money to the top 5 people at August 10th.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So a really great way to, you know, bring awareness to your game or your product is at a game convention. I mean, it's hard nowadays in the big sea of creators of content and of games. You know, this is a great avenue to do that. This is a VR racing game. Actually, I'm talking to this guy as I'm looking at it, but he was speaking very, very low under his breath, so you can't really hear him. So I'm just doing a voiceover. But yeah, really cool looking machine, very sleek. Apparently, you can play this with other people at the same time in VR, and I'm not very technologically savvy. I play retro games, but yeah, didn't quite understand it, but it looked cool. So here are a ton of people at one booth. There is Link, had no idea he was going to be there. Super cool that he was there and being dumb. That sword, real plasticky, man. I thought it was going to be a little more intimidating than that. There is a Luigi's Mansion store display. That thing is cool and very $80 priced, so I didn't get that. Over here are a bunch of leather products, like journal looking things. I'm telling you, man, you're gonna see so many different things. These are more pictures, prints. They almost look lenticular, and some wall scrolls. These people over here are watching the other people play VR. I'll show you that here in a minute, but you gotta check out the food. Pretty standard food at this convention. I'm sure it's like this at most places, but you know, you got your hot dogs, your chicken strips, your pizza. Pizza was actually pretty good. So they're playing some VR. Don't know if it was maybe a new game or something, but they're playing, and then all these people are checking it out, watching them do it up. Just cool vibes, you know, just fun vibes, just people playing games all over the place, buying games, talking about games. This is the Army recruitment station. And man, they got that video game trailer. I remember the first time I saw one of those, I was like, man, that thing is serious. We had them in Houston. First time I ever saw one, I was like, that is genius. Here is where you can sign up for tournaments. So they had all kinds of different tournaments at the convention. They had Street Fighter ones, I think NBA Jam, Smash Bros, and you get to see how good you are. I had a couple friends go through some of the tournaments, and they were like, man, I did pretty good up until like the semifinals, and then that's where the real good players come out, man. So there are some great Smash players, Street Fighter players. I am very average at all of that stuff, but yeah, there's some pretty pro players for sure. All right, guys, here is an arcade section. Pretty neat that they took the time to drag all of these monstrosities. If you've ever tried to move an arcade cab, they are serious. Carolina Arcade Museum, shout out to them. If you're ever around the area, to go check out that place. They had some shirts there, and then all of these games. That is LGR right there in the green shirt. YouTube legend, one of my favorite channels ever. Got to talk to him for a little bit. Really cool guy. But people are all playing some pinball, some arcade cabs. There's TMNT, Star Wars, RoboCop pinball. Guys, these things are beautiful. There's a Street Fighter pinball machine. How amazing would that be to have in your man cave, in your game room? And there's a shot of everybody. Kind of a pan. House of the Dead, love that game. Played that on Sega Saturn, was where I played that mostly. But as you can see, man, just a lot of people all over the place. Here's Pokemon cards. They had Magic the Gathering tournaments. They had all different types of things. There literally is something for everybody. I actually got a really cool Pokédex that I'll show you guys in my next video that I've been looking for a long time. They gave me this free Pokemon card. That's pretty sweet. Now check this out. If you thought the arcade thing was cool, these are CRT TVs, and you know these things weigh a friggin' ton, guys. Like 200 pounds, 200 plus pounds, and you got Tetris. I think that was a Tetris tournament actually, because I'm seeing Tetris on all the different screens. But that is really neat to have all of these TVs just set up to play either these tournaments, and I think at one point there was like free play as well. I think you actually won stuff. Like I think you won prizes and potentially money for some of these tournaments. This is where they had on the last day they had like the big tournaments were on this big screen, and yeah, you watch people get after it. Now these people know what's up, man. Playing some OG Smash. I love the OG Smash. Again, just good to see people out and about. This guy had some really nice items, guys. He let me go back there and check out all these graded games. That Tron Bon is sealed and graded a 9.6. That is crazy. I think he said they had it listed for sale for $7 grand. CDX in the box. Oh man, this is Grail stuff right here. Fantastic watermelon console. Those were not cheap, man. Those were not cheap. This is more my speed. A bunch of retro games. Surprisingly, I asked some of the vendors, I was like, I always like to ask what people are selling the most of or not selling, because I'm actually a vendor at a convention in Houston, or not Houston, Dallas. They also have one in Houston, but it's called Retropalooza. Really cool, great convention put on by the Game Chasers. But yeah, I wanted to know what they were selling the most of. They said they were not selling NES games, which is surprising. You think that people would still be buying up NES games, but they weren't, which is kind of wild. So these are some board games that people were promoting. Really cool PlayStation kiosk right there, the OG PS1 kiosk. That would be sweet to have in the game room. This guy had some stuff like jam-packed full of things. I actually went by this booth the next day, and he had gotten rid of a lot of things. So wanted to show you guys that little clip, or the audio from that they were about to start an MTG tournament. I mean, just stuff going on all the time. Games, card games, you're buying stuff. Pretty crazy. So over here you have some people at a cosplay booth. I don't know what this is, but I mean, I know what cosplay is. People are dressed up like some of their favorite characters from games and movies, and it's really fun. You should have seen some of the costumes, man. Really, really well put together. Premium edition, I think these were games and books. I remember there being books over here. That guy right there with the cut-off vest, he was a really cool guy. He actually wrote a ton of different books, but there's a Virtual Boy book that he wrote, he was telling me about, that I need to get my hands on. All right, now this guy, he wins. Look at this. You win, dude. You win. I don't know if there was a tournament for cosplay, but I'm telling you, you win, dude. Killer. So, as you guys can see, all to my left, just a ton more vendors for games and different things like that. Now, this was really cool. This is Save the Machine. Apparently, this is a non-profit, and their whole goal is to just preserve history and show these young whippersnappers that have had Wi-Fi their entire life on their phones that this is where it started, man. You saw Serious Sam. Right there is some Oregon Trail. I grew up playing that in my computer class, and this is history right here. Kids make fun of this, but this is where it started, man. If it wasn't for all of these different technological, pieces, advancements, you would never have, what we have today. So, Carmen Sandiego, this is all the stuff that I grew up playing when I was a kid, even though it was a little bit, before my time. And this Sony Trinitron right there, that is it right there, man. The pinnacle of retro gaming TVs. But I will say, this wooden Sony TV is sick. It's got all of the retro vibes. So here is a panel. So as all of this stuff is going on in there are different rooms with panels happening, and there's, as you can see, all different types of topics. And this one right here is NES Complexes. If you've never seen his channel, a really great channel where he deep dives into retrospectives and history of different games, publishers, oddities of video game history. But go check out his channel if you've never seen it. But that was just one panel going on, and there's actually 3 different panel rooms at one time. So this is panel room 2. They were getting ready for their panel. That's JLove81 and Rock Solid Productions. Gary is over there getting all of his stuff together. I think he was modding JLove's N64, which is actually really cool. Wish I would have got to see this. I've never tried to mod one before. I would have loved to have learned how to do that. So this was actually our panel. Me, Mr. Rightway, and Phoenix Resale. We had a panel as well talking about game hunting, because that's mainly what we do on our channels, and it was a blast to do that. And then we rounded off the day at another arcade, because we did not have enough video game playing at the convention. We needed more. So every convention I've ever been to, a lot of people all gather up and head to the nearest arcade to keep the party going. We got some dinner, and then we went to this really cool arcade. I don't remember the name of it. I'll flash it up here on the screen, but Pixel Game Squad was there. A bunch of people were there, and we had a ton of fun at this arcade.
So many different things to see, to play, to buy. Guys, Siege was amazing. Shout out again to Austin and the team for putting on a killer convention. I will definitely be back again next year. But you guys tell me down below, what was your favorite part about the convention? As always, thank you guys for hanging out, for watching the video. If you would like the video, it helps out tremendously. Subscribe if you have not already. And until next time, peace.